Hello friends, welcome to Knowledge India once again. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about a SQUID proxy server. Now, SQUID is something which is used in industry a lot, and it is quite important to understand its purpose and how do we set it up. So in this video, we'll understand all of that. We'll also go ahead and set up SQUID proxy, and we'll see that how do you use it in your AWS environment. Okay, so first of all, the important point is why do we need SQUID proxy? So SQUID is it's a proxy software, and what it does is it allows a computer without internet access to proxy through another computer that does have internet access. If you try to relate this, it is same like your NAT gateway or NAT instance. If you remember, when you have private machines within your VPC which cannot directly reach out to internet, they go via NAT instance or NAT gateway, isn't it? So in the same way, SQUID proxy is also there. But there is an important difference. The difference is that the NAT gateway or NAT instance doesn't allow you to filter the traffic based on website addresses, right? Um, though in case of NAT instances, you may go ahead and maybe apply some security group rules and you can filter based on port or IP address, right? But in NAT gateways, you do not even have security groups. But in both NAT gateways and NAT instances, there's no option for you to go ahead and filter the traffic based on websites. Now, for example, in your organization, you might want to implement a rule that traffic should not be going out to facebook.com or to any other website for that matter, right? So you need a mechanism through which you can filter that where all traffic would be allowed to go. The SQUID proxy does that work for you, right? So let us see that how do we go ahead and set this up, and after that we'll get into demo. So here is a simple diagram which shows you a very simple setup of SQUID. Now I will first try to show you how to do the simple setup. Here you can see we have a simple VPC which has got two public subnets on the left hand side and two private subnets on the right hand side. So we have got private EC2 instances there, and of course they'll not have public IP. They cannot talk to internet directly, so they will make use of this SQUID proxy server to talk to internet, right? So we will go ahead and set this up, and what we'll do is we will try to configure that only certain websites would be accessible from these private instances. And where would we go ahead and configure it? We'll configure it in the SQUID proxy server. So let us go ahead and check how does it work. Here, as you may see, what I've done is I have a VPC set up already, the same structure which I showed you in the diagram. We have got two public and two private subnets. So what we'll do, we'll first go ahead and launch an EC2 instance, which will be there in the public subnet, and we will set up SQUID on that particular server. So let me go here. All right, so I'll just choose T2 medium. I'll say next. We'll select my VPC and a public subnet. We want a public IP, of course. We'll just go ahead and launch this. Let me just add a tag. This is fine. We may go ahead and add now itself a port 3128. SQUID by default runs on port 3128. And I may go ahead and open it from our the complete CIDR range of the VPC, which is this. We'll go ahead and launch this. I'll say create a new key pair. I'm gonna call it KI test. Say download key pair. Alright, so our instance is launched and I connect it to this particular machine. Now what we'll do is we'll just quickly run sudo yum update. So just to make sure that everything gets updated. Um, Looks like everything is in shape. So what we'll do next is we'll go ahead and try to install Squid. Yep. So this is done. The next thing which we'll do is we will, set this up so that it is, it comes in the auto start mode. Sorry, I need to put sudo here, of course. All right. So now that this is done, what else should we do? We will go ahead and do some changes in the squid configuration file, right? But let us try to start this and see, you know, whether it is getting started. All right. So this has started, and what we can do is we can also go ahead and check that on which port it has been configured. So for that, if I just do sudo cat .conf, so we should be able to see that. You can see here it is running on port 3128. Okay, so let's do one thing. What we'll do is we'll now go ahead and try to launch a machine in the private subnet, and we'll see whether we are able to use this machine as the proxy. So I'll say launch instance. This time let us go ahead and probably launch a Windows one. So we'll say Windows 2019 base is okay. I'll select T2 medium. We'll say next. This time in the private subnet. Okay, so no public IP. Right, so we'll launch this machine and we'll get inside this. I also went ahead and launched another Windows machine in the public subnet, and this particular Windows machine is acting as our bastion host to actually reach to our private machine in the private subnet. So I logged in to both of these machines. So first I went to the public machine or the bastion host, and from there I did RDP to this particular private machine. And here I've opened Internet Explorer and I'm trying to access google.com. Let's see. It won't go through, of course, because it doesn't have internet connectivity, doesn't have a public IP. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and set up the we'll go ahead and set up the proxy here on this particular browser. So we should go here, go to the settings, go to internet options, and probably in the connections you have proxy server. So here we should put the private IP of the SQUID machine, which is this, and the port would be 3128, isn't it? So we'll go ahead and put this. Port would be 28. We'll say okay. Say okay. All right. Let us try to access google.com once again. And you can see that we are able to access google.com without any problem, right? So I hope you understand this part, that now it has started making use of SQUID proxy server, and of course we can go ahead and access anything we want, like any website we want, right? So now what we would like to do next is we'll go ahead and try to strengthen our proxy server or SQUID proxy server. And what we'll do is we will go ahead and restrict all the websites and will only allow a couple of websites. So let us see how to do that. This channel teaches you AWS and Azure in really easy and practical manner. There are a lot of demonstration videos already on the channel. As you can see, a lot of professionals got benefited from our videos and you can read about them here. So if you are new, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. Alright guys, so what we want to do next is we'll go ahead and modify our SQUID configuration file and we'll add few entries into that through which we will actually control that which websites would be accessible and which won't be accessible. So there are certain entries which we'll have to make. I've written it here. So we'll go ahead and maintain a whitelist file. Basically, we are going to call that file as allowed websites.txt. We'll add two entries into that, and then we will add these entries into our SQUID configuration file. So first of all, let us go ahead and create this file. So what I'll do is sudo websites.txt. Right, so just basically there is some unnecessary space in the start. We need to remove it. So you need to put it in this format .microsoft.com, .redhat.com, and then save this. All right, so hopefully we are okay here. Okay, next what we want to do is we'll do sudo vi/etc/squid squidconf, and in this we'll scroll down to http access deny all. There will be here. So if you go to this thing, we need to add these two lines additional, so put it in insert mode and let's put it here. So you have saved this file. Now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and restart our SQUID service. So let's try to do that. And let's try to restart this. All right, we will start the service again. Okay, now it is time to go back here and try to check if Microsoft.com should still work. But something else, like let's say Facebook.com ideally should not work, but it is still working. So we need to correct something else. Alright guys, so what we did is we looked at this SQUID configuration file once again, and there were few additional allow statements, right? More than what we required. So we actually had to get rid of all of that. So I'll show you what we did. I have created a backup file of the original SQUID conf. Let me show you this. So there is a backup file, as you can see. Let me show you that file. You can see this is the file as the original one, how it was. And of course, when I took the backup at that time, I had added these two lines additionally. But there are a lot of other allow statements which are there. So what I did is I created another another SQUID conf file, and in that I have actually taken away all these allow or deny statements, and we'll only keep what we require. In this file, there are ACLs defined at the top, and after that, there are different statements written. For example, here you see HTTP access deny non-safe ports. And what are the safe ports? You can see all of these are safe ports. So if request comes to anything other than these, then it would deny. So if it is coming to these, it will allow. So what we did, let me show you now the current file. So you can see all of those ACLs are there, but I have removed all the other allow or deny statements. So now we have only this thing. We created an ACL, which is like basically saying that ACL whitelist, name of the ACL is whitelist, and in that what domains are there, those domains are given in this particular file, right? So I've given two domains, microsoft.com and redhat.com, and then HTTP access allow whitelist and then deny all. So what does this mean? It should only allow what is given in this particular file, allowed websites.txt, and it should deny everything else. So we did this, and after that we restarted the SQUID service. Now let's go here, and if we try to see microsoft.com is working, and let us try to see google.com, it doesn't go through. You can see following error was encountered while trying to retrieve access denied. Access control configuration prevents your request from being allowed at this time. So basically, this is the error which is coming from Squid, right? So if I say redhat.com, yep, what we saw here is the method of using Squid in a whitelisting mode. So which means everything is denied, and only what we want to allow, only those things would go through. You can also use Squid in another way, which is the blacklist method, which would mean that you allow everything and only deny certain, you only deny certain websites. So that way also you can go ahead and do it. Now, before we go ahead and end this particular video, this is the setup which we did. We created a private EC2 instance, and in this we specified the proxy server details as this one. And this is SQUID proxy server, of course, has a public IP, and on this, we did the setup and we saw that how the traffic goes out. Now, uh, functionally, this is working, but in a production scenario or in your organization when you are setting it up, probably you will not just do it this way. You will go ahead and try to think about high availability, scalability, etc. So what I'll do is I'll quickly show you that architecture. This is how you will do in your organization. So of course, the outermost layer within your VPC should only have managed services. So that's why we are keeping NAT gateways in the public subnet. And then there should be one layer of private subnets basically, and then there are other private subnets. So in here, if you see in the VPC, we have got 6 subnets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of this, only these 2 are public, these are private, and here also these are private. So we'll have our instances running in the private subnet here, and we will use this private subnet, in the middle one, as you can see, only to run our SQUID proxy. And the way it is configured is that we have got a load balancer, and then we have got SQUID proxy servers running in both the availability zones, or you can say in 2 private subnets which are there in 2 different availability zones. And also this SQUID proxy server is being managed by an auto scaling group. So in case a lot of request goes through, or there is a lot of traffic, the number of SQUID proxy servers can increase as well. And let's say if a particular instance goes down or something, no problem, another instance would come up automatically. In this case, you do not have to specify or give a public IP to this SQUID proxy servers, because they will just send out the traffic to NAT gateway, and it would be NAT gateway which would be sending out traffic to internet. And of course, NAT gateway has got an elastic IP there. Whereas in this model, the previous one which we saw, Our SQUID proxy server was actually there in the public subnet and it had a public IP. So I will let you try and do this thing. Go ahead and try this particular stuff in your account. And what we'll do is we'll do another video in which we will set up and show you this thing as well. Well, if you understood something from this particular video, go ahead and share it with someone and also hit the like button. There are more videos coming on our channel, so do subscribe to learn more. Take care. Bye bye.